I USA lever den største bestand af fritlevende heste i verden. De vilde amerikanske mustanger. Mustangernes historie har været dramatisk. For 100 år siden blev der drevet rovdrift på hestene. De blev indfanget i 10.000-vis og brugt i krige. Samtidig blev det vilde vesten koloniseret af nybyggere, og der blev mindre plads og føde til mustangerne. I løbet af et enkelt århundrede faldt antallet af fritlevende mustanger fra omkring 2 millioner heste til blot 40.000. I dag er mustangerne ikke længere truede, og der er stor respekt for hestene. Den måde, man omgås dyrene på, når de indfanges og tæmmes, viser, at amerikanerne for alvor har taget mustangerne til deres hjerter. De vilde mustanger lever hovedsageligt i det vestlige USA, først og fremmest i staten Nevada. Mustangerne holder sammen i små flokke på mellem 7 og 12 heste. Hver flok har en hingst, monarken. Resten er hopper og føl. Monarken er næsten altid lidt på afstand af sit harem, men holder et vågent øje med konkurrerende hingste. Men selvom hingsten er leder af flokken, er det førerhoppen, der går forrest, og som alle følger. I nærheden af flokken befinder der sig ofte grupper af unge hingste. De har endnu ikke skaffet sig et harem og har slået sig sammen i såkaldte ungkarlebander. Disse grupper holder sig tæt på flokken og lurer på, om de kan stikke af med nogle af førerhingstens hopper. Her lykkes det ikke, og de lusker af. Mustangerne var oprindeligt tæmmede heste, der kom fra Spanien til Amerika for 500 år siden. De heste, der undslap fra spanierne, har siden levet frit helt på naturens betingelser, ude på de store amerikanske sletter, i et åbent og barskt landskab. De amerikanske myndigheder ønsker at bevare bestanden på det nuværende niveau. Myndighederne vurderer, at der på de frie arealer, der er tilbage i det midtvestlige USA, kun er vand og føde nok til at bære en bestand på omkring 40.000 vilde heste.
Leaving them unchecked, I mean, the population in a few years will just explode, and pretty soon you'll have horses starving to death out here. They'll be fighting over waters. They'll drink water holes dry because some of the waters are very limited on how much they produce.
Mustangerne er meget formeringsdygtige, og bestanden ville årligt vokse med mange tusinde heste, hvis antallet ikke blev reguleret. For at holde bestanden på de nuværende 40.000, må de amerikanske myndigheder hvert år indfange omkring 10.000 vilde heste. Et arbejdsteam er i gang med at gøre klar til en indfangning. Det er wranglers, ikke cowboys. For dem er cowboy et nedsættende ord. De arbejder for den amerikanske myndighed BLM, Bureau of Land Management. Mustangerne er totalfredede og må kun indfanges af BLM. De må hverken jages eller indfanges til kommercielle formål.
Do we want to go take a quick look and see if that... No, I mean right at this and see. He's some traps.
And that's where all those horses were sitting, was right in here.
Right, and that's where
No panic. Okay, everything's ready.
Relax, Bob. We'll take care of you.
Okay.
Fælden bliver sat op et sted, hvor den passer ind i landskabet.
We try not to interfere with the animals on the range any more than we have to. And so pretty much what that amounts to is we go out and monitor the herds, evaluate their habitat, evaluate the animals' health. And then when we have an identified need where maybe the rangeland's in poor condition or the animals are not responding well, then we'll conduct a removal.
Endnu inden fælden er færdigbygget, bliver piloten Jim Hicks sendt afsted i helikopteren. Man bruger helikopter og wranglers på hesteryg til at indfange vilde heste.
Jim is probably the best horse pilot that they've ever had or ever will have.
You not only have to be a skilled pilot, you have to have an understanding of wild horses and what a wild horse is capable of doing and kind of understand their tendencies. I think a lot of times Jim knows what a horse is going to do before he does it.
Den inderste del af fælden er ved at være klar. Store ruller af sækkelærred bliver sat op som hegn for at lede hestene ind i fælden. Hestene ser sækkelærredet som en mur, de ikke kan forcere. Jim Hicks har fundet den første flok heste. Han venter med at drive dem ind med det samme. Han vil først skabe sig et overblik over, hvor mange flokke der er i området. Han gener flere flokke sammen, før han leder dem tilbage til fælden. En støvsky afslører en ny flok mustanger. Han er næsten 20 kilometer fra fælden og giver nu besked tilbage, at han begynder at drive hestene ind. Men først skal han have hestene drevet ud fra træerne og ned på det åbne terræn. Den slags manøvrer er farlige. Jim er flere gange styrtet ned, når rotorbladene er kommet for tæt på trætoppene. Men hidtil er han sluppet fra det uden men. Tre hingste er stukket af. Hingstene er de sværeste at drive ind. De lader sig ikke så nemt skræmme af helikopteren. Jim har før været helt nede og skubbe til hingste med helikopterens landingsben for at drive dem tilbage til flokken.
We always have radio contact with the helicopter, and we're continually talking back and forth about what obstacles he's coming to, what we need to do. Is there any baby colts? Is there any old horses that can't keep up? So communication's a big item, and we try as hard as we can not to ever drop a colt. And if we do, we always go back and get it if we can find it.
Ude på den åbne slette passer Jim Hicks på ikke at drive hestene for hårdt fremme, så føler gamle individer sig bagud. Da flokken nærmer sig fælden, er der igen problemer med hingstene. De stikker af til alle sider, og Jim Hicks må bede wranglerne om hjælp. Samtidig går Dave, de specielt trænede Judas heste, klar. Hestene har fået det knap så flatterende navn, fordi de lokker vilde heste ind i fælden.
Once we get the horses down to the mouth of the trap, a Judas horse or a Prada horse is turned loose. This is a horse that's trained to go to the trap, and horses, you know, are herd animals, they're following animals. And once this Prada horse is turned loose, the wild horses will follow it on into the trap, and then the wranglers come in behind and close the gate.
udendørshestene bliver med det samme skilt fra de vilde heste.
They do settle down pretty quick if you don't stir them. And we've learned over the years to not handle any of them on horseback. A wild horse is scared to death of somebody on horseback. And I think it comes from something on their back. They relate it to a lion or something jumping on their back. You take a helicopter, he was probably out there, 45 minutes?
Yeah, and then they're here.
They're here, it's all over. You sort them, it's done with, and they haven't wore their feet to nothing.
Blandt de indfangede heste er der en sjældenhed. En albinohest. Men da den er over 10 år gammel, vil den blive sat ud igen.
Some of these stallions, they absolutely hate each other, and I've seen them where they fight coming into the wings at the end of the trap, fighting going onto the trailer. They fight in the trailer, and then we turn them into the stallion pen, and they fight there until we ship. They fight on the truck when we ship them to Palomino Valley.
They're really mean.
They are. They can kill a mare, they can kill a colt real easily. We separate them here for the same reason, so they don't get killed inside the pen here. Back whenever things were first starting, there were more horses lost. I know when I first started in the horse program, up to 5% was acceptable death loss, and now if you get over 1%, they're questioning what's going on.
De fleste ulykker sker, fordi hestene tror, at de kan komme igennem tremmerne, og derfor løber direkte ind i dem. Men efter man har sat sort snehegn af plastik op på tremmerne, sker den slags ulykker meget sjældent.
Before we was working them and loading them, before we start using it on the outside of it, you know, we broke quite a few necks because they jump at them panels and try to go through them.
I samme øjeblik mustangerne er inde i indhegningen, sorteres følgene fra. De holdes også adskilt fra de voksne heste, når de transporteres videre på trailere. Følgene risikerer ellers at blive klemt ihjel under de stressede forhold.
We're sorting off the colts into the small pen over there, so where they don't go on the trailer loads with the big horses to keep them from getting kicked or trampled. Because if we put them on the trailer with the big ones, they could get killed on there.
They're tough animals, and the more you get to know them, the environment they live in, the life they've led to get to this point, the more you respect them.
Indfangningerne fortsætter til ud på eftermiddagen. Jim Hicks flyver yderligere 4 togter og bringer den dag over 120 heste ind. Efter 5 dage er der indfanget godt 400 mustanger, som så bliver kørt videre til Palomino Valley. Fælden tages ned og flyttes til et nyt sted. Palomino Valley er de amerikanske myndigheders centrale opsamlingssted for indfangede mustanger. Her er der plads til omkring 2.000 heste. De sidste af de indfangede heste ankommer.
Typically when the wild horses come in off the range from a gather operation, the very first thing they'll do is we'll run them through our squeeze chutes and let the veterinarian take a look at them to make sure if they have any physical injuries or if they have anything that requires immediate attention, then he could administer to them. And then after that, what they'll do is give them the normal range of vaccines for a domestic horse. And then we also give each horse an individual identification number. That's that freeze mark that you'll see on their neck. Each animal is individually identified. It'll tell the age of the horse, and that's tied to another code that we assign to the animal called a signalment key, which is based on the sex of the animal, the coloration of it, face whorls, and that way through our computer system we can track each individual animal. Once it receives its freeze mark and its vaccinations, we turn it out into these pens. And we'll keep it for at least 30 days so that it could get its booster vaccinations.
En Mustang bliver bedøvet, så dyrlægen kan rense et sår på den skulder.
So we've given him the anesthetic now.
Bedøvelsen virker efter 10 sekunder. Såret desinficeres med jod.
And then you are in trouble unless you use your...
Dyrlægen skærer såret op og presser pudset ud.
All right, guys.
You want to try this other hole, Rich?
Såret er en overfladisk skræmme, som hurtigt heler. Sundhedstilstanden blandt mustangerne er god. Blandt de 400 indfangede heste er der ikke én, der halter. Hestene har det, som dyrlæger kalder rene ben. Ingen udposninger på leddene, stærke og sunde hove.
You could ride them for weeks and weeks and never shoe them because they have perfect hard feet. You take a saddle horse, keep him in the corral for 10 years and shoe him every 6 weeks. What do? You halfway destroy their feet.
You do, yes.
You destroy their ability to pump blood to their feet. When you wear your feet down, like these are, then you have terrific, healthy feet. Actually, to shoe a horse, you should shoe him for 6 weeks and then trim him down and turn him out for a month. 6 weeks, 2 months, that's the limit. And then they should be barefooted for a while. So a wild horse has got terrific feet. But the reason they are is because man don't mess with them.
I bjergene her ved Snake River skete der for over 3 millioner år siden noget meget dramatisk. En stor mængde heste døde inden for kort tid.
What we're currently thinking is that it was a drought and that a shallow river was drying up. And horses are very, very much dependent on a water source. So eventually you're going to have the animals dying out, and you can imagine the bottom of this dried up river covered with dead horses.
Denne massedød har efterladt området omkring Snake River med en af de største samlinger af hestefossiler i verden.
What makes this particular site so exciting is that it is the single largest sample of the modern horse genus Equus. And so we're looking at a population of animals, over 200 that have been found here, that allows us to really understand the origin and the evolutionary history of the modern horse group.
Fossilerne ligger i hård klippe og er umulige at frigøre på stedet. Så derfor fragter man klippeblokkene med fossiler til laboratorier, og her arbejder palæontologer med at slibe klippestykker væk for at frigøre fossilerne. De heste, man har fundet ved Snake River, er forfædre til alle nulevende heste.
This is the oldest and the first species of the modern horse genus Equus. So we can think of this as the ancestral form, not only for Przewalski's horse, but for what eventually gave rise to zebras and donkeys. So this is sort of the basic model from which the other living horse lineages could be derived.
Hvilken type hest lignede den så hestenes forfader?
If you start looking at details of the skeleton, we can say it's really more zebra-like than horse-like. And apparently some features of the skeleton suggest that this was very much like the living grevy zebra in Africa today.
Det er på det nordamerikanske kontinent, at hesten er opstået. En udvikling, der har taget 55 millioner år. Og herfra er den udvandret til Asien, Europa og andre kontinenter. Gennem de 55 millioner år har hesten udviklet sig fra at være på størrelse med en kat til at blive det store dyr, vi kender i dag. Hesten blev større og tungere, og på et tidspunkt i dens historie har den skulle omstille sig, så den egnede sig til at løbe.
As grasslands develop, the forests break up, we see a lot of this adaptation for running probably related to open country. There's no place to hide from predators. If you look at this horse here, he's already down to one toe, like the modern horse. And this is part of the long evolutionary history of horses becoming adapted for running, which includes reducing the number of their toes.
Men for 10.000 år siden uddøde hesten totalt på det nordamerikanske kontinent.
10,000 years ago, equus disappeared here in North America at the end of the Ice Age, along with mammoths, mastodons, camels, and other large herbivores. And one of the great mysteries is why here in North America, a group of animals like the horse that was so successful for so many millions of years disappeared, and yet it was able to survive in Eurasia.
De amerikanske mustanger stammer kun indirekte fra de oprindelige amerikanske urheste, nemlig via de heste, der for 2 millioner år siden vandrede over Asien og videre til Europa, for med menneskers hjælp at vende tilbage til det nordamerikanske kontinent for 500 år siden. Hesten vendte altså hjem til sit oprindelsessted. Udover myndighederne selv, har kun én enkelt privatperson i USA opnået tilladelse til at tæmme vilde heste. Hans navn er Steve Mantle, og han er en af de berømte hesteviskere. En af dem, der kan noget med heste, som ingen andre formår. De nyindfangede heste bliver sorteret. Det er hingste over en vis alder, der sorteres fra. De egner sig ikke som rideheste, fordi man aldrig vil kunne tæmme dem helt. Hingstene vil blive sat ud igen på store indhegnede områder. De skal kunne identificeres fra luften og bliver derfor frysemærket med en ekstra stor identifikationskode.
Good horsemanship to me would be someone who is willing to learn new things, that has no ego involved. They're out there for the horse. They're not out there for themselves. They're willing to be honest. They're not trying to snowball anybody with anything phony. Because if the horse can win in every situation, whether it's a Mustang or a domestic horse or whatever it is, ultimately the owner, the rider, and the trainer are going to win. If the horse doesn't win, nobody wins.
Det er, når Steve Mantle står over for den enkelte hest, at man ser hans helt specielle evner.
We're going to introduce to this little horse something that he's looking for. He's in here all by himself.
And the natural thing for him to do is be with a herd of horses. That's where he's the safest. So we're going to try to take the place of the herd in his mind and teach him that when he's with us, that's a good thing, and when he's away from us, it's a bad thing. And he's gonna learn to start coming with us and being with me here just pretty quick, because he's already looking for somebody. That's why he's doing all this pacing and working around here. Now he's come to this gate right here because that's where he came in. So that's where he wants to go right back out. These wild horses naturally zero in on things like that. So we're going to strengthen the right side of the horse first, build the right eye strong, and drive him. Now, to drive a horse, you got to do it from the hips. You can't do it from the ribs or the shoulder. So we're just going to keep driving him around here, and then we're going to offer him a chance to come back. It's starting to sink in really quick. Now we lost his attention, now we got it back. See how we got both ears right here? Now we lost it, now we got it back. Lost it, now we got it back. Once you get this here, your training process is starting to really build quick. Now I've got to send him around the other direction, because now he's okay with me on the right. So now we got to get him okay with me on the left. I'm gonna have to hustle him to get him by the camera. Now we're gonna hustle him again and let him coast. Oh, he's already wanting. See, he's a pretty smart little horse. He's finding the answer.
The horse can read your body language, and he reads it better than you ever thought of reading his. First off, in his mind, you're a predator when you come in the trail. And then after a while, he finds out, well, you really haven't attacked me yet. So then if you can set your body language to where he can work off that, then you start building that relationship right there. Now, believe it or not, this horse has never been worked. He's been run through the chute, castrated, and branded, and that's it. But like I say, now see, he's having a hard time staying here, so we're going to put some pressure and get him hooked back on. Now we're going to come again and get another adjustment there. That's better. Now this little horse doesn't know that being petted is a good thing. So you have to teach him that it's a good thing. And they might nip you. You just have to be aware of that, be ready for it, watch out for it. But once they find out that being petted is a good thing, the rest of your process is pretty easy. There's a saying out there that if you look these horses in the eyes, that you send them away. Well, my experience is the eyes are the window to the soul, and if you want to know what's going on in his mind, you better be looking at his eyes and his ears and checking that out. Because I'm looking right dead in his eyes, and he's sure not wanting to leave very bad. Now, I don't know what we've been at it, a half hour, 45 minutes maybe?
Yeah, and that is quick.
Yeah, and we've got a 2-year-old wild Mustang that is really, at this point right here, not a whole lot different than a domestic 2-year-old that's been run out on the range. The only thing is his sense of self-preservation is like up here, and a domestic horse is down here, because every horse has it. I mean, that's how they survive. We're going to use this flag as a training tool rather than a weapon. So many people use this flag as a weapon because they get scared and they don't know what else to do, so they just shake the daylights out of it. We're going to let him check it out. This represents your head, your hat, your shoulders. And if the wind blows your hat off and it comes floating down to the ground, it's going to bother him if you haven't taken this away. Now, if you're out riding this horse someplace and a plastic sack blows by,
I see that front foot come off the ground right there. He had to, natural. I mean, he couldn't help it. But pretty quick, he'll just stand here and this will go floating by and he won't even look at it. Okay, now he's set himself up for us to see if we can't teach him something. We're just gonna put enough pressure there that he just made the turn right there. And now he is just so tickled. He knows he did something. He don't know what he did, but he did something. And it turned out to be pretty good because he was really troubled with that rope around behind him. He worked himself out of it. And there was no more pressure. And then now we're in here and we're going to give him just a little bit of reward. Let the horse learn that he can work off the pressure and he can find release and relief when he comes off that pressure. If the pressure's never released, he has no incentive to come off of it. But if it is, he'll start out to where they're resisting it, then pretty quick they're accepting it, and then they'll be turning so light and handling so nice because they're craving it. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, I can do this. And they want to do it. If he wants to go on by, that's fine, because what we're going to teach him is by going on by, he's going to get into pressure. But if he stops right where you are, there's no pressure. Whoop. It's okay, he got a good education right there. That didn't hurt him at all.
No.
Efter bare 2 timers arbejde, tester Steve Mantle, hvor langt han er nået. Får han lov til at løfte hestens ben, har han vundet dens tillid. Benene er et yderst følsomt område, og mange hesteejere kan, selv efter at have reddet deres hest i årevis, ikke få lov til at røre ved benene.
I usually get this right here first or second day.
You think this trust you gained here will the horse give that to another person, or do you step very much back if there's another person coming in? You want to try me out?
I think you can go right up between his eyes. After you, sir. I really admire them. To me, they're like the coyote. They're adaptable. Probably the last 3 things left on the face of this earth will be them, the coyote, and the housefly.
Mustangernes frie liv har tvunget dem til at overleve på naturens betingelser. Det har gjort dem til stærke og sunde dyr. Dyrlæger og andre hesteinteresserede er derfor begyndt at interessere sig for mustangerne og sammenligne dem med de moderne rideheste.
A lot of veterinarians have studied them to see why wild horses don't get navicular and all this. Too much the concept today is every horse has got to have a halter on him and it's got to have shoes on it. Well, if you keep shoes on it 12 months out of the year, in term, over the years, you will shorten his lifespan of his feet by 50% at least.
Led- og knoglesygdomme er nogle af de mest udbredte lidelser blandt de moderne rideheste. Sygdommene udvikler sig ofte til kroniske lidelser, der gør, at hestene halter, og dermed bliver ubrugelige som rideheste. Det ender ofte med, at de bliver aflivet. Mustangerne og de moderne rideheste er begge efterkommere af spanske heste fra den tid, da Spanien var den europæiske hesteavls moderland. Racer bygningsmæssigt er de i familie med hinanden. Men mens mustangerne har levet vildt de sidste 500 år, er de moderne ridehestes udvikling blevet styret af mennesker.
All the horses that we breed today came out of stock that look just like this. It's just that people bred for what they preferred, be it long legs or a certain face or a certain head shape.
Mustangerne vejer omkring 400 kilo og er hurtige og meget atletiske. De moderne rideheste derimod er fremavlet som store og tunge dyr på 700-800 kilo. Men man har bevaret de vinklede led i benene, som kendetegner heste på kun 400 kilo. Det giver ridehesten en vis smidighed og hurtighed. Men når hestene vejer 800 kilo, kan benene i længden ikke holde til belastningen. De bliver nedslidte og får sygdomme i ledene.
Mother Nature, I think, is a better breeder than we are. Those animals with those conformation faults that have the potential to compromise the breed usually do not have the opportunity to reproduce, and hence those components are eliminated from the breed, whereas we have the ability to breed anything. And despite the fact that we know we have potential problems that will be passed on genetically, we'll continue to breed those, either due to greed or misplaced affection or other issues.
I Riverton, Wyoming, ligger et af de 5 statsfængsler i USA, hvor man tæmmer vilde mustanger. Det er et åbent fængsel med 150 indsatte. De har afsonet en del af deres straf i et andet fængsel og skal udvise god opførsel for at komme til Riverton. Her lærer de sig blandt andet at drive landbrug og tæmme vilde heste.
Well, it's different coming to prison and serving my time doing something I like. I'm not no top hand on training a horse, but there's quite a difference between a wild horse and a domestic horse. They got a lot more spirit, these ones.
Most of the inmates that we get here have never worked with horses, and so I think a number of them, they come and they don't want to have anything to do with it. They're scared of the horses. But, once they get into it, most of the inmates really see it as a good program, and I don't get that many requests for job changes once they get started.
17 months and you still don't get used to it. It's like better than a cup of coffee in the morning. It's just a big rush. It's fun though.
You're not nervous about it?
12 years ago, there were a number of prisons the BLM would use to train the horses, and we saw that, and we saw that as a really good opportunity to introduce, the same program here at the Honor Farm, and it looked like it would fit really well with what we try to do, which is that focus on work and trying to give inmates a sense of accomplishment and a sense of pride in what they're doing, and a sense of, if they work hard and do the right thing, that they're going to do well.
Af pædagogiske årsager forløber tæmningen af hesten i forskellige trin. Nyankomne fanger starter på trin 1 og har kun at gøre med helt utæmmede heste.
A little bit nervous, yeah. Things a lot bigger than I am, so.
They're strong?
A little, yeah, they're strong. A little nervous, not too bad though. I've been around horses a little bit, so it wasn't too bad.
8 or 10 men right through here, and we'll have put 4 or 5 right through this. So just start lining out in a circle, fellas, right along the fence.
Det første, de lærer hestene, er ikke at flygte ved synet af mennesker.
The men, what's happening? Yeah, that's okay. He'll come out.
Here he comes.
Let him come. All right. All right, you see him how he's looking at us here a little bit? That's what we want him to do right here. There's the stop. There he's figuring out. Right here, when he stops and looks, let him figure us out here. We're not putting any pressure on him. We're not trying to do nothing to him right here until he settles down just a little bit here.
Senere samme dag blev det testet, hvordan hestene reagerer, når de holdes fast i et tov.
Horse out. All right, just let him look.
is what we like right here. If we can get that horse looking, there's the first step of leading right there. See there? And see, the boys hadn't even pulled the rope there. So that tells us right there that horse is willing to do what we want him to do. This is a nice horse right here. Keep his nose to you just a little bit. Now, Brown, if you get up to his nose, just rub his nose a little bit and then just slide your hand back over that. There. Now just turn away and walk away there just a little bit. There you go. Come on down your rope a little bit. Now stop right there, Brown. Next time, walk up to him there and rub his nose a little bit and just turn your head and just kind of back up that rope a little faster than that. Don't be afraid. Don't think he's going to do nothing. There. Now, there you go. Yeah, just move right on back there kind of fast. There. That's good.
Men ikke alle heste opgiver så let.
There's the start.
We ask the horse to come around. We ask him to stop. We ask him to wait for us. If he don't, then I'm wrong. I went too far, too fast, too quick. And then it's my program, not the horses.
Mike Buchanan er leder af hesteprogrammet. Hans filosofi er, at fangerne ikke skal være horsebreakers, men tæmmere. Han har sagt farvel til de gamle rodeo-metoder, hvor man under tvang knækkede hestens vilje. Nu er det samarbejde, tillid og respekt mellem hest og mand, der arbejdes med.
Just try what you can, Pete, and just... When a horse is born in the wild, the first thing the mother does is start nuzzling them right at the point of the shoulders, right up high on the withers, and then they massage. That's the bond. We want to start massaging and petting him right around the above the neck, right on the mane there, right on the withers. That's the first contact that the wild horse and the baby gets contact right there. Try it again, Pete. You're doing fine. Just keep going, keep going. See, he's wanting to do it now. Stay, keep your hand there, keep your hand there, keep your hand there, keep it there, keep it there, keep it there. That's okay, there, that's better, that's better. That's better.
For første gang i deres liv får hestene hovedtøj på og bliver langsomt vendet til at bære sæde.
Sometimes if you just reach underneath them like that, you might be all right.
First, when we saddle them, they're a little bit rough, you know, but after a little while, they gentle down and they know we're not going to hurt them, you know, so they trust us.
We teach it a few little things here before we even get on. If we tie up a right rein or a left rein and walk off with its head turned, the horse will understand right and left. And then what we look for here is a crossover. The left hind foot will cross over the right hind foot. The reason why that's important is because if you was on top of that and the horse decided to do something wild, we can pull on the rein, we can bump it with the left side, and it will unlock itself. Instead of buck, run off, it will unlock and cross over. There. And now hold his head just like that. That's really important right here. That just don't pull it. Just don't pull it.
Efter en måneds intensiv træningsarbejde er hesten rolig og tryg ved mennesker. Det er nu, det viser sig, om træningen er lykkedes. Vil hesten acceptere, at et menneske stiger op og sætter sig i sadlen?
All right, now just step up there a little bit, count to 3 a little bit. There. And let him know and pay him a little bit, stand a little bit. There. Okay? Good. Now, if you want to just stay right there, we'll turn this horse loose and then we'll see what happens. He don't know that he's untied, so we kick the inside leg, relax a little bit there. There we go. There we go. There we go. Kick that inside leg, just there you are. Relax, relax. Give him just a little head. Just let him have his head just a little bit.
In 8 days, I kill my number, and I'm going to go to Alaska and hopefully work in some riding stables. A lot of the programs really didn't help me, but the horse program, it's a life changer. I mean, it doesn't have to be about money or girls or drugs or anything. That if I'm happy with myself and who I am, then I can make it. And that's why I want to continue working in horses.
The inmates really form a bond with the horses. You'll even see in the auctions when the horses are being offered for public sale that as they're leaving, you know, the inmates will express a little emotion, maybe even see a tear from time to time. So yeah, the bond is pretty tight between the horses and the inmates.
Let's do that one more time. Come around over here by this pond and then just stop, move in, look over your shoulder. Give them the right signal, turn, go the other way just a little bit. Okay? That's good. Now just turn around and go the other way, follow just a little bit. Always stop your horse. Make him stop and turn, look over your shoulder, Billy, and just turn over, look around, just come on right on back. That's good enough. All right. All right. That's good, fellas. That's good.
Adoptionen er de indfangede musangers sidste stop på deres vej fra det frie liv på stepperne til et nyt liv tæt på mennesker. De tæmmede mustanger sælges på auktion, men alligevel siger man, at de bliver bortadopteret, fordi der er stærke restriktioner i forbindelse med salget. Folk skal ansøge for at blive godkendt til en adoption, og hermed forpligter de sig også til at give hestene et godt liv. Myndighederne kontrollerer løbende, om folk lever op til disse forpligtelser. Hvis der inden for det første år konstateres vanrøgt af en hest, kan myndighederne tage den tilbage. Det er blevet eftertragtet at adoptere en mustang, og især de sjældne mustanger med spansk blod i årene sælges for høje beløb.
It was a real surprise for us when we came in on Monday morning and heard that we had a wild horse adopt for $19,000. We have a lot of horses adopt in the $1,000 to $2,000 range, special animals, especially those that have been trained through the correctional facilities. But $19,000 was unique, and I hope we could see that again someday.
Erfarne hestefolk, der har mod på at adoptere en utæmmet hest og selv tæmmer den, kan få sig en ægte mustang for et administrationsgebyr på blot $125. De heste, der er for gamle til at blive tæmmede og bortadopterede, bliver ikke aflivet, men sat ud på store græsarealer i Oklahoma og Kansas, hvor de lever indtil de dør en naturlig død.
The wild horse is a symbol of the West in the frontier movement, and it will always be that way.
En levende legende lever videre i frihed, uforstyrret, bortset fra menneskets regulering af bestanden. Mustangerne er mere end nogensinde blevet et symbol på den vilde, uberørte natur.